You know, Gail's on his way back around. What you gonna do? Keep sitting in the back of people's class. Motherfuckers really believe they can just sit, listen, and one day it's just gonna go boom. That never works. That didn't work in grade school. If it did, you'd have done good. But it don't work. You have to engage. You have to wrestle with information. You have to wrestle with it. You have to fight it. And it's not because you're going to defeat it. The wrestling shows you where you're fucking up. I know, especially after motherfuckers was listening to Panic, they got this. Because Panic said, look, if they not giving you practical methods, then, it ain't the thing. Okay, Panic said a lot of things, but, practical methods ain't difficult. Here's where that's a problem. Let me guess, Aries, you solved the problem. No, motherfucker, you could solve the problem yourself. But half of solving the problem is knowing what the problem is. If I were to give you a practical method today, what different ideas will we have to presume for you to be able to do that? Like, for example, if I give you a method on how to get to the mall, and my method is like, okay, hop in your car, get on I-85, wait till I-20 come about, go east, and then get off at exit 37, bust a left, and park in the parking deck. If I give you that methodology, what am I presuming? I'm presuming where you are, what city. I have to presume not only the city you in, where you starting at, I have to presume you have a car. When you get a practical method from somebody, spiritual practice, what are the presumptions? It's not about getting the right presumptions. It's about understanding the ways in which the presumptions affect the methodology. See how the presumption of me presuming you have a car affects the methodology. This is why the metaphysics is important. You have to understand that the not only a different metaphysics you can use, but the metaphysics you're already using. And to really grab that, you got to learn to make a distinction between what you want to believe and what you believe. And methods aren't as simple as just follow my instructions. Because really, if you just want to follow somebody's instructions, you go back to one of the religions, right? It'd be easier. They got plenty of instructions. They got a long-standing tradition of instructions. So it's not as simple as just following instructions. You need to understand. You need to understand. Talk about metaphysics, because the metaphysics most people are using by default, it's not to criticize you, how I look at you, you're doing the wrong thing. It's like, no, you're doing something and trying to get to a particular place, but you're not looking at where you start. It's like I say, motherfuckers will be like, I'm gonna leave the physical world and never come back. Okay, cool, fine, great job. Where's the line between where you're at and where you're trying to go? Like, that makes a difference if you say you're gonna go. Like, this stuff's not hidden. It's not secret. It's that in order to do it, you got to go on a quest. You have to take the journey. And it requires doing the work. What's doing the work? Sitting back and listening to somebody read you a book? But stop. You got motherfuckers who will read you the book, got a 4th grade reading level. You can tell. You ever hear a motherfucker who couldn't really read the paragraph out loud? This motherfucker want to read you a book from a scholar as if they get it. Don't even open up the dictionary once. That's arrogant as hell, boy. Won't even open up that dictionary. I feel like this what it mean. This got to be what it mean. But stop. Let's stop. You got to grab the metaphysics that you're already using if you're going to hope to reshape it. But this is the big thing. Motherfuckers don't realize the ancient peoples thought very differently than how you think today. It's not that they were secretly uncovering what you have from the scientific method and you just got to go back and correspond it with the scientific method. That's not only is that wrong, most motherfuckers ain't scientific. It's a misunderstanding of what the scientific method is doing. You're cultivating a relationship with reality. You're cultivating a relationship with reality. And things like the atomic model is a model. Okay? It's a model of reality. So you're not going to understand this stuff looking for some universal, here's the original. That one nigga say, right? It's the original. Oh shit. It's the original. People in the ancient world related to the world in a different way. They were more connected to nature. No. Like, where does the presupposition that one can disconnect themselves from nature at all come from? Like, where did you get that? There's a presupposition there. See, man, what we do in the guild is, look, I walk you through the fundamentals, the basics. You have to have, if you're going to comprehend or frame your idea of what's going on right now, you have to have some notion of history. If you're going to project yourself into the future and move forward, especially effectively, you need some grasp of history. How did we get where we are today? It's not just learning new words, especially in another language. Before you can move forward, you have to have your feet planted. You have to have your feet planted. If you're going to have an open and honest relationship with reality, you have to deal with the places in which you're being dishonest about your relationship to reality. If you're going to have an open and honest relationship with reality where you're participating, because that's what spiritual work is, you're going to have to contend with the ways in which you're being dishonest in your relationship to reality. Like the one I always do, bro. Motherfuckers will say I'm not consistent. And that's a lie. That's dishonest. Because there's plenty of things you're consistent with. You may not want to be consistent with them, but see that your issue isn't that you're not consistent. Because you're consistent. You're consistent in the thing you wish you weren't consistent with. And so, even though you're consistent with that, you wish you weren't, and so you don't count it and then say I'm not consistent. Your relationship with your reality, by your choice, is dishonest. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. The same mechanisms we have that allow us to grasp things that are complex and abstract, to intellectualize and figure things out. That same machinery can throw you into bullshitting and deluding yourself. And so it's not a bug in the system. It's not, something you're broken because of it. It's like, no, you have to go through the process of cultivating systems to deal with that. If you're the kind of person who's certain they would never be bullshit, you're the number one mark. It's all, the motherfuckers who get scammed are the ones who are, I'm pretty sure I could tell if it was a scam. Like, that's the whole point of the scam. But those will be the motherfuckers that got. And so look, this is how I see it. Look, the truth of reality is in front of you all the time. Like, you literally can't hide it. Like, it's extant, my nigga. It exists. So it's not the world. It's not reality. It's how you're fitting yourself to it. I can't focus. I can't pay attention. That's, once again, it's a lie. You can focus. You just don't like what you focus on. There's a little parable about a king and a servant. The servant's like, yo, I have a hard time focusing on anything. And the king's like, okay, cool. Look, take this glass of water, it's filled all the way to the top. Walk around the whole castle and don't spill a single drop. Guards, if he spills a single drop, kill him where he stand. Bet you that boy came back with that glass, didn't spill a drop. Why? Because his issue wasn't that he can't focus. You lie to yourself about something. Now that's one of the big ones. And look, because out of the 3 months in the guild, like, each month I switch up the topic. I never switch up the shadow work stuff. Like, that's because what you're doing is you're cultivating systems to deal with your issue of self-deception. It's not you're broken because you have places where you deceive yourself. No, it's that you have not cultivated systems to do that. That's what you're doing in the shadow work. I see the nigga on here doing some martial arts form like this is shadow work. Like, well, you missed it. But this is what happens when you don't research, you don't study, and then you just start talking. So that's one thing we do in the guild. And more than like half the time you're there, that's what the focus is. What you mean? You gotta jump in with learning and accept you're not going to be comfortable doing it. Hell yeah, it's going to hurt. Especially if you're doing it right. It's going to hurt. There's an old thing got to break. The old thing got to break. See, motherfuckers are comfortable with like the idea that, I'm coming into a new part of my life and the old things are falling away. Well, what's going to happen? And this is par for the course. As those old things fall away, if you're still holding on to it, if you're still in allegiance with it, you're going to feel the friction of that. And it's going to hurt because you're going to be holding on to it in ways in which you didn't even think you was holding on to it. So look, that's what we deal with in the shadow work side, because you have to start cultivating those systems, because they're systems you participate in. It's not something you do at arm's length. You just kind of stand away and, look at me, I'm manipulating the mechanism, I'm manipulating the machine of the world. And it's like, no, like you missed it. What's going on, sir? This work isn't, this is again the misunderstanding of what the scientific method is and what it's doing. When you treat the world as though it's a machine that you can just manipulate, right? How you treat the world shapes how you conceive yourself, and so you'll end up seeing yourself as that. It's the relationship. It's not in either the things that are related. It's the relationship itself. That's why you have to participate. You can't just at arm's length, I have the perfect method and I do the method and I get the thing I want. Then once again, like, look, somebody, you have a relationship with somebody and they treat you like that. What you gonna give them back? Not you. Oh, you just treat me like a machine? Like you don't give a fuck about me at all? That's what you're doing when you're treating reality as though it's a mechanism. as though it's a thing, and you apply this specific method and you can manipulate it and control it, right? You missed it, but it's you missed it because of how you're relating to it. It's an issue of existential mode. Again, because you have to study these things. You have to understand what it is you're talking about. A spiritual system is a philosophical framework. It's a philosophical school of thought. If you don't touch philosophy, there's no way you're going to understand. Like that's not me judging what you can understand. It's like you just can't. Damn, bro, that shit hit me. Bro, I'm telling you, keep rolling with it. Keep rolling with them, because it's on the other side. That's why I spend so much time on the shadow work, because imagine it like this. I used to do this when I would fill out job applications, because I hated filling out the paper, right? But what it could get me to do like 20 in a day, it's like, look, between me and the thing I'm looking for is one piece of paper. I'm gonna give this piece of paper my maximum effort, because you gotta contend whether or not you really want the thing that you say you want. A lot of the time, motherfuckers just like the idea of it, but when you add the work that's necessary to get it, and they kind of like, I can wait. So to really say you want some shit, you have to, in that idea of I want it, has to include the necessary work and more to get it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers say I want it, but what you mean is I like the idea of that. Once again, we spend the shadow work. But the other thing you need, and this is why another reason metaphysics is important, you need a particular model. Like I said, the atomic model is a way of viewing the world. Okay? And it's a mechanistic way of viewing the world. It's not to say that's bad. What it is because spiritual work is a matter of how you participate with reality, because spiritual work is the manner in how you participate with reality, your view of the world is going to shape that. This atomic mechanistic view of the world is not the view of the world that the people had who give you these spiritual systems. The view of the world for the people who give you the spiritual systems is not the same view you're using. What difference does that make? What do you mean, what fucking difference does that make? Your view of the world shapes your idea of yourself and the manner in which you participate. That's why it makes a difference. Spiritual work is about your participation in reality. Your view of the world shapes your view of yourself and how you participate with the world. And so you have to not only recognize how deeply ingrained this new world view is, and break the frame so that you can switch it to the ancient world view. Because otherwise you can't play a role in the spiritual system. You treating the world like it's an it. It's a thou. It's its own being. Like, things like this were self-evident. This wasn't a subjective view, because it was self-evident based on the world view, based on your model of reality. That's why I give you the Bookman model, because the models of reality are made to fit the people who are using it. Made to fit the people who are using it. So if you want to do this, especially on your own in this kind of, I'm here and I've done it. Cool. Trust me, you're not going to get no bitches for that shot. But if that's what you want to do, you have to address how your model fits you to the world. This is why you can't just grab stuff from a bunch of systems and try and put it in the same place. Like, look, I'm going to take a bear's heart, a fish's liver, a kangaroo's stomach, and like, I understand. Based on the model of how things should work, you put these pieces together and the thing goes. And it's like, yes, but no. The context. It has to relate to the world in a particular way. all those different organs are made to relate to their world in a different way. Like, okay, you got a bear heart and a shark's heart, but each of those hearts exists in the world of that organism. They're fitted to it. They're fitted to it in a particular way. And so you can't just take it out and then throw it in another worldview. It doesn't work there. And most people won't realize it doesn't work because they're invested in feeling good, and they only deal in communities of people where no one is going to disagree with you. Like, imagine you trying to learn a martial art and all you ever did was never spar with anyone at all. Would you expect that shit to work in a fight? No. But imagine, look, you do it by yourself, never spar with nobody, and you feel good about it? That's it. That's what's happening. People are trying to grab pieces from all this stuff and put this thing together. It's like, look, okay, congratulations for learning about new systems other than where you came from. Okay, it's work there. But you have to understand how those pieces fit together. In order to look, there are certain things you can learn, you can know about a bear's heart and a shark's heart. Like the overlap in what you can know is what the word heart means. Like what comes along with that. You got that part, and that's the mechanistic side. But the side in which you're participating, where you're not treating the world like a machine, that's going to be based on the context. And so, okay, I know what a bear's heart and a shark heart is, but I have to also understand them in the context of their framing. This is why the framing, your worldview, your model of the world is important. And so you can't use this atomic model to do that. And this is why you have to understand the philosophy, because especially when you put the history alongside it, you can see the progression of thought. What people used to think, why they changed and how they changed, how that affects what comes after. You can see the entire trail if you put the history and the philosophy together. Spiritual systems are philosophical schools of thought. Vedanta, with the non-duality, Buddhism, Hinduism, the Norse mythology, the Inuits mythology, the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Mongols and the North. All these, look, just like I can go Aztecs, Egyptian, Sumerian, shark, bear, kangaroo. Well, okay, I understand what a heart is, but you also have to comprehend it in that context. And this is why I'm giving the Bookman model, to give you a context you can use to fit yourself. Good afternoon. Do you feel like certain systems are trapped because the framework is from a different environmental worldview for different times? And so we kind of get that doubt and that uncertainty, especially with Christianity because of its history. In general, these philosophical schools of thought, I wouldn't say any of them are a trap in and of themselves. I would say the trap is thinking that you can understand it completely, or even in a good sense, from outside of it. Like, this is what I'm saying. Those models are made to fit the people who use them. So, like the Egyptian system, it's not a trap, but if you think you're going to understand it without being the people it was made to fit, that can be a trap. Oh, God, especially when motherfuckers just start teaching. And I get it. You're excited about the new thing you learn and you want to share. Because, that's kind of how Homo sapien knowledge works. We share it, And so you want to share. You want to find people who are doing the same thing. But it's not that. It's that it's the water you're swimming in. It's the current, I guess you will, of the spiritual community. Look, you don't disagree with anybody. Everybody's right. And when everybody's right, no one's right. In fact, right doesn't mean anything anymore. Look, you get a default participation trophy. I mean, you got a trophy, you got an award. You can say you won, but we know you didn't really win. What's it mean to really win? To really win is losing is on the table. So you want to really do this shit, losing has to be on the table. And my wife family members over and they use a different framework. I can definitely see how models are used. Very interesting. It's necessary. And if you want to build one up from the ground up, you kind of have to understand how they work. Like, that's why there's no penguins in the Egyptian pantheon. Not because something is spiritually wrong with penguins. It's made to fit those people, so they got hippos and crocodiles. That's why niggas today, you can say the words and feel good, but you can't use that system because it's shark heart and a bear heart. It's from a different system. What you have to do is reassess the system that you're in already. You can't just jump to a new one if you haven't contended with how you're holding on to the old one. You can't jump to a new one unless you contend with how you hold on to the old one. Especially when you get the history and the philosophy, you can see the changes. You can see when things changed, why it changed, and how it changed, and then the effect that has on the next generation of thinkers. I'm telling you, especially when you can see the history with the Western world, because our model of the world comes from the Western world, and so when you see how they got where they are, you can actually really understand how it's different from the those old systems. This is a shit majority of people in this community to hear, bro. I swear. Well, look, they're not gonna hear what they need to hear because they're not here to hear what they need to hear. They're here to hear what they want to hear. They're here to hear what they want to hear, boy. See, when you make spirituality the self-help thing, and it's all about how you feel and whether or not you're confident, you're gonna miss what it was. And so people are here to hear what they feel. I want to feel valid. Confirmation. Yeah, this is confirmation. What's confirmation doing? It's reasserting what you already believe. What you already believe is the problem. You have to break that. But, pride is the thing of the hour, man. So yeah, you have to understand the models and how those models fit, because in order to start to participate in reality, you have to question how it fits to you, and how you frame the world determines how you frame you. C plus C. Well, I don't know what that is. That must be girl math. But they won't hear because they don't have room for the information. No, they got too much of themselves in it. I'm listening to one dude, the Cosmic P dude, and he's basically made that oneness the self, and I get the appeal of that, because it needs to look like it's not about me, but still it's about me, and secretly in the back, and so it's like reducing the Tao to the self, or Dharma to the self. That's like, you actually read this shit. No, that's not the self. And that's kind of the point of it. Even calling it the self is completely misframing what the thing is. Whatever the words are. No. Words mean things. You think in language. And your thinking helps you to shape what you perceive. I mean, come on, bro. It's just words. Niggas is dumb. The Dharma, the Tao, is not the self. It's not the self. But, you can't tell nobody some shit they don't want to hear. The whole philosophy that they're using is a ceiling. Yes, materialism, the secular worldview that portrays itself as being neutral. You start the presumption that the world is the atomic model, okay? You start the presumption that the world is what is most real about the world is what's material. And that's how motherfuckers think what's most real is the material, because they want me to tell them the spiritual stuff in terms of a brain. Okay, cool. Not bad. Why would that make it more real for you? Because the model of the world for you, what you is and what the world is machinery. You're this body. The presumption, my experience is protected from my brain. My brain is creating this experience. It comes with the model. Fuck. So yeah. And that's not how the people who made these systems fit themselves to the world. That's not how they saw the world and themselves. As the thing is bound, so it is unbound. You have to address how you've been bound. Otherwise, you can't just rise above it. That's what niggas like to do with it's all the self. I'm just going to rise up. You can't rise above it. It's part of what's going on. C plus C equals C, but that's bad algebra. That's got to be girl math. That's bad algebra. That's got to be girl math. C plus C equals 2C. No, you probably wouldn't do an algebra. I don't know what that is. Well, actually, you know what? C plus C may not be 2C. There's only a few cases. Okay, if C is 0, 0 plus 0 is going to be 0 regardless of what you got on the other side. If C plus C is 1, okay, that'd be 2C. But let's say C is 2. Then you got 4 equals 2, which is, okay, there you go again. 3, 6 equals 2, 6. Oh. Okay, yeah. No, I guess that's going to work, yeah. Anyway, I even gonna say what it is. I'm gonna keep that math to myself. Look, you could have started. If you was gonna end there, you could have started there, bruh. Not even put it in that shit. Oh man. Like today, part of today's worldview is our admiration of mathematics. And it's not to say something's wrong with mathematics. Our whole notion of mathematics and how it functions is sitting on top of a philosophy of mathematics. And without understanding any type of philosophy of mathematics, you're not going to understand the mathematics. You can feel like you do, you can feel how the fuck you want to, but you're not going to understand it. That's funny because you're the one that told me. Told you what? I told you C plus C is C. I don't know what in context I would have told you that. But if you remember, let me know. So yeah, and look, the entire endeavor, it's a large endeavor. This quest to reassess how you fit yourself to the world and actually participate in reality is a large endeavor. But and this is part of another thing that people miss from these old systems. When you initiated in, this work was years, easily decades. And motherfuckers want to be able to get it in a year or two from sitting in the back listening to someone else talk. Now, mind you, no one's questioning how well they even understand the language they're communicating in, the shit they reading. Don't question whether or not you understand. Of course you understand. You felt good. But even if you actually understand it, that's not even starting. The work is a work of participating in reality. And you can't just reduce it to everyone's right. Look, if everyone's right, there's no reason to teach anyone anything. Why would you teach someone else something about spirituality? Everyone's right. What they're doing is already right. Why would they need what you have? Because it's not everyone's right. Once you do that, right don't mean anything. If you want methods, it's not a problem. But the method is going to have to come from the model of the world you're using. You don't look. Anytime someone gives you a method using that model, what do they take? Sun gaze. Why? You're doing some photons in your brain, right? They made Kundalini back oil. Okay. They're doing yoga without Shiva. It's just good stretching. What really is happening is something is being unlocked in the body, and the body is da-da-da. Why? Because of their model of the world. That's why that looks plausible, because of your model of the world. And then you won't take that to no motherfuckers who actually study biology. You'll just sit in a group, jerk each other off, and say we tapping in. No, like I take take what you're saying to some anatomists. Somebody who's actually opened up 50 spines and asked them about spine juice. But you won't do that. Whatever. And that's what I'm saying. It's the model of the world. It's not that something's wrong with anatomy or materialism. It's that based on that model of the world, spirituality, what makes something spiritual as opposed to just physical, is its continuity with reality beyond the physical world. But that worldview where you're reducing everything, not only are you trying to explain things by reducing it to its parts, mechanistic, but you're also using a particular system to do that. And both of those are going to keep you having you missing what it is. These aren't metaphors and allegories for states of mind. What do you even mean by mind? If you need me to reduce it to the brain, I guarantee you've missed what they meant when they said mind. You had to have it, but you wouldn't know that without looking at some of the history and the philosophy. I'm seeing it now, and this is from talking to other people outside of our class. The philosophy is based on materialism. There's no spirituality. And that's why they have to try and redefine spirituality, because the word means nothing in a materialist framework. It's clearly in the realm of things that aren't real. Why? Because what makes something real is its materiality, its reduction to material, to matter, to atoms, to cells. Look, that whole tradition, it's the same view. It's the same worldview. And it's not to say there's no reality to it. It's, once again, your model of the world is going to shape how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you relate to it. That model does not afford participation in reality beyond the physical world. Like, you won't even be able to get out of your own grammar. Shit. Your spiritual work, the journey, the quest is in your participation in reality. And you have to have a worldview that affords you a view of reality beyond just what's physical. And you'll know that's not the case is to make something real, to understand something is real. If you have to reduce it to some type of material reality, that's a bias. It's a particular worldview, and it's a materialist worldview. So what you're doing isn't really spiritual. It's physical with extra steps. Like, yourself is not a collection of cells. I don't think of myself as just cells. Well, you still did this, the body, with extra steps. On my nervous system. It's the body with extra steps. Like, you're trying to make it a little, okay, it's spooky, but no. You're thinking of yourself as the body. Regardless of what you want to think differently, like, that's how you're framing. It's in the framing. It's in the structure. It's in the structure. What's the thing they are pointing to in the physical world of body? Yeah, that's it. Oh shit. Over the span of 2 years, I've been realizing how most people within some form of spirituality are doing exactly what you're saying, just putting out information without people questioning. I fuck with the fact you challenge this shit. Look, motherfuckers will think I'm just being a contrarian and I'm just being a hater. I'm not just being that. I can be a contrarian, and I'm very much a hater. It's funny. You can be with two bitches, and I'm like, nigga, you ain't getting no bitches. That's funny. Anyways, that's how science and philosophy work. The schools of thought bump up against each other. So if you're like, oh, well, I have this, and I'm not going to go back and forth, it's like, okay, well, then that's fine. But what you're doing isn't a science or philosophy. That's why you have to have the friction. The friction allows things to move forward. Like the whole butterfly coming out the cocoon, right? Like, if you take it out before, if you don't allow it to contend with that necessary friction, it doesn't develop the muscles it needs. But when you don't see development as an unfolding, it looks like stages are happening to the world. It's the worldview. It's the fucking model. Evening, everyone. What's going on, man? It's your model of the world, and it's not about finding the right one. It's about understanding how a model works. It's like saying one organism is the right organism. I mean, a bear and a shark got a heart, but really, it's the shark. That's the real kind of thing. And it's like, no, it's like a real hearts exist in sharks. No, there's a thing of what a heart is, and there's a way in which its manifestation has to comport or fit itself to the world. Its world being the inside of that shark or the inside of that bear. So when you're trying to understand something and you reduce what it is to some smaller part, if that's your method of knowledge, if you will, you're missing the thing. You're missing you're only going bottom up. You're missing the top down. Because what a heart isn't simply a collection of parts. What is a bird? Wings and feathers and a beak. Well, if I put wings and feathers and a beak on here, it's not going to be it. I can get one of those fucking those things where they stuff the animal, right? You got a bird. Look, all the parts are there. Why isn't this doing what other birds are doing? Because it's not something you can reduce to its parts. It never was. But when you're doing reductionism in the materialist framework, you're trying to reduce a thing to its parts. It's a mechanistic worldview. And if you have that mechanistic worldview, you're going to see the world as a machine, you as a machine, and the two are going to participate with one another in that way. You look at the world is better understood as a being. It's not totally. This is why you got the Trinity. In terms of relating to the world, you want to relate to the world as a being, not as a machine, not as something I've come to manipulate and control and bend to my will. I'm saying, if somebody came at you like that, you're not fucking with them. Not only are you not fucking with them, like I said, there's a certain way in which you're going to participate with that person. But okay, I wouldn't want no one to do that to me. Okay, well, you're doing that to reality. Like, that's the spiritual work is about your participation in reality. It's not this, so I have the method and I'm just going to do the method and it's going to react and that's not participating. That's not participating. It looks like one of those highly rational scientific experiments. Once again, this is why you got to understand what the scientific method is doing. When someone is doing an experiment in a scientific method, they're trying everything they can to erase the participation of, let's say, the scientists. And so it's going to be neutral and objective is what they call it. Okay, that's once again trying to understand the world by completely cutting out yourself. Fine, it's a way of knowing. It's an epistemology. But then if that's what you do, if at the beginning you're cutting out, I'm going to understand the world by cutting out the scientist's participation. Okay, fine. But if that's where you start, what ends up happening when you try to apply it to yourself, you won't get anything. You took all the steps you could to cut out your participation and then try and use that to understand how you're participating. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's why materialism has no spiritual practices. All right, motherfuckers who try and use it, the only reason motherfuckers who try and give you these weak ass things to do and call it spiritual, the only reason that can work is because they're in an environment where no one challenges anything. In fact, feel good, say the same thing. You're gonna let you in the group, we all gonna say the same thing and we're gonna be tapping in. It's like, dope, that don't grow. And so because these motherfuckers won't do the friction, I'm above debating, I can't do it back and forth, because they won't allow the friction, there's no growth. It won't unfold. Yeah, motherfucker truly believe the spirit or soul is attached to the body, and with that agreement, I can see why everything is coming back to the physical world. Because what's most real for them is the body. Even if you can say, listen, talk is cheap. You can say all these things you think you like to think you believe. What you're going to end up reducing it to, when you want to understand it, is the body. And that's because your model doesn't have anything other than that. That's why you can't just add new words to that. It doesn't change it. You have to use a completely different model. You have to use a completely different model. But that's metaphysics. That's what metaphysics is pointing to. It's not spooky sounding science words. Nigga said parthenogenesis. Boy, I can't stand these niggas. Didn't even know. As someone who was interested in parthenogenesis, like, microbiology, like, I can tell when someone doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. But you'd have to understand, you have to know before you can recognize someone who don't know. Yeah. That's what we're addressing the guild. And I set it up so, because motherfuckers want to be able to, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna just go back out, and I'm gonna do what I do. I know best, and that's cool. Go ahead. I set it up so, look, you just 3 months. 3 months, you can take. I give you all the information. You can take everything you want, and then say fuck off. But like I said, this thing is a process. It's always been done in communities of people. Because part of how you think is dialogical, is in a dialogue. Even when I'm thinking to myself, well, what are you doing? You're participating in a dialogue. You're not just monologuing. And so if you're trying to reduce your understanding of your experience to, my brain is creating all this, and the method now is to manipulate the brain and bend it to my will. Once again, there's the mechanistic view of reality. It takes the world and makes it machine. It takes you, makes it a machine, and then that changes how you comport or fit yourself to the world. Spirituality is about your relationship with the world, with reality. It's about your relationship to it. But the model you're using is determining what you mean when you say reality. It's not the spoon that bends. It's only yourself, right? Exactly. They're trying to manipulate, mechanize the world. That's trying to bend the spoon. Realize the truth, appropriate model. You bend, appropriate you. The spoon bends. By virtue of you participating, the spoon bends on its own, as if it was never solid at all. Nope. I've been in for a year now, and I was just able to look in the direction of where this information comes from. It's a process. Yeah, look, I'd love for a motherfucker to just be able to get it in a month. Like, I put as much as I can into you having the space to do that. Okay, cool. Hey man, you the real nigga. Go ahead. You got it in 3 months. It's not gonna happen. I know it's not. That's part of why I even cut the price if you want to renew, because it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get it that fast. It's huge, but that's what motherfuckers want. That idea that I can get in here, I can get this quick, do the steps, microwave. It's never worked like that. But I mean, hey, all I can do is what I can do. So it's 3 months. All right, we're looking at the fundamentals of the philosophy behind this shit. How's it going? Of the philosophy behind. Oh, you guys put the wave emoji and didn't do the wave. That's hilarious. You have to understand the philosophy underlying what you're talking about. Like, even like, you can be impressed with the scientific method. It does wonderful things. It does wonderful things. But part of what's involved in that method is you don't have to understand the underlying philosophy. You don't have to understand what it is you're actually dealing with. Learning to surrender to the long haul, not knowing, has been a real motherfucker. Hey, look. No, it can be difficult, but when you realize, when you actually can start to touch the idea that that's how it's always been, like your plans, your ideas, your understanding of what things are, you end up in places you never would have imagined you'd end up. And if you'd have taken that, if you comport yourself to the world in that way, it changes how you participate. When you think, I have this plan, I know where this is gonna go. It's like you miss it every time. And so once you get tired of missing it, you're like, fuck it, I'm here. I'm participating. I'm not gonna start just looking for what I want to do, because I talked about this in the guild. Is part of how you see the world is based on what your aim is, what you're aiming. And so, God, it's funny. Once again, that idea that this is all its own thing, I'm not going to be able to control it. I'm going to end up in places I'd never imagined. That's kind of scary. It's huge. It weighs a lot. But when you actually participate with that, you're not in the way. You end up where you're supposed to end up. You'd be right on time, too. You're like, why am I even rushing? Right? Like, where you going to get to create drama? Like that. Once again, this is where the shadow work comes in. Like, this is what your participation in the shadow work is showing you. And that's how you cultivate the system to deal with it. It's showing you where you're in the way. You're in your own way. And that's not just in some motivational sense. You're in the own, or some, like the motivational speakers. You're in your own way, nigga. Get up off that couch. No, it's like the you bend. The shape of you is in its own way. You have to change how you shaped. But you're not going to be able to do that unless you change how you think the world is shaped. How you think the world is shaped determines how you think you're shaped. It conforms. And so unless you change the model, you're not going to change the you. And unless you change the you, you're not going to change how you participate with the world, which is the spiritual work. This motherfucker say, what is you? Is that a trick question? No, motherfucker, it's the details. Is that a trick question? Right, David Goggins, look, niggas need to take my shirt off, right? Take my shirt off and motivate you. No. I'm too much of a hater to do that. I can't sit here and motivate you. What, nigga? Nah, I'm about to say something hating. That's why I'm not trying to motivate you. There's stuff to learn. And especially if you're trying to do this shit. You have to look at the philosophy and the history, how we've come to think the way we think. Instead of presuming, I think how I think because of how unique I am. I don't fucking know. Oh, God. Spiritual practices. It's about your relationship and participation in reality. How you're participating in reality. You have to address the model that you're using. You have to address the you that you're using. And by virtue of that, you can then address the relationship, which is what you're looking for. How do I participate in reality? When you're asking for practical methods, how do I participate in what we're talking about? I'm teaching you all the mechanics of a car. Okay, those are wonderful. How do I participate with the car? Well, now we're talking about driving it. That's a different conversation. You got the metaphysical question and the existential question. Once again, philosophy. No, I don't need no big words. You're the self. Like, bro, shut up. That's even a philosophical statement. It's alright though. Fuck this nigga Aries, right? No, it's cool. I should just be entertaining. I should tell a joke. Then I'm worth it. Tell a joke and make you feel good. Alright, I'm out of this, baby.